Cribfach Cryptids, a fictional podcast based on All Night Breakfast at the Midnight Owl, a solo investigative podcast RPG by Tim Roberts. Episode 1, The Night of My Dreams. Welcome to the first episode of Cribfach Cryptids. Yes, I, Miss Rose Smith, have moved to Cribfach, the famous little sleepy town of South Wales, known for its Cribfach Phantom. You've seen the videos online. If you're listening to a paranormal podcast, you've seen the weird lights, the strange sounds. I intend to find out what is going on here. So I've moved in to a room above a nice little pub called the Midnight Owl. It is a wonderful place, and literally my first night I'd moved in, and I had this weird dream. I had a visitor in my dream. And who was it? A knight, like literally a medieval knight. When I woke up, I realised that knight had been strangely familiar. And it wasn't until I went for a walk around town that I realised why. Because there's a statue of him in town. It was Sir Dewar, a lesser-known knight, but apparently patron saint of the town? No, patron knight? Is there a difference between patron saints and patron knights? I'm not sure. Anyway, you'd expect a medieval knight turning up in a dream to tell me to go on an epic quest, but no. He just repeated numbers. It didn't mean much at the time, and I know what you're thinking, skeptics. You'll say, Miss Rose, it's just a dream. Well, I say no. I've never remembered a dream this well, ever. I've never remembered numbers this well. You don't know how I have to remember my credit card PIN number. In fact, I definitely shouldn't tell you that. Anyway, 0.1860, 0.1860.186, over and over and over. Like I said, it didn't mean much to me at first. Then I was having breakfast, and the radio was on, as it always is. Pete, the breakfast show host, was playing his oldies, and then he said, and this is 0.186 Cribfach FM. It's the local radio station! Why is a knight telling me to listen to my local radio station? I have no clue. And then there's a weird static. And my landlord, good old Caleb, he glares at the machine as the static goes along. He gets up to probably just smack the radio until it works. But by the time he gets up, it's working again and everything's fine. I don't know what that means. It was a bit of a weird static. So, the knight told me to listen to the radio, and who am I to question the medieval knight of my dreams? So, I got the radio up on my phone, I stuck my headphones in, and I listened to it all day. And that static happened a lot. I started timing it eventually. It was like clockwork. Every 2 hours for 10 seconds. Crazy. Could this really be my first taste of the supernatural in Cribfach? I haven't even gone looking for the phantom yet, and I found something else that probably is completely unrelated. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. So, investigation. First thing I did was just ask my landlord Caleb if he knew anything about the weird static or if he'd noticed anything strange. And pretty much all he did was give me the same glare he gave the radio when it did said static, so I left him to it. He's not the most talkative fella. He's nice, but that glare means go away, so I went away. My next port of call was the library, a wonderful place to start any investigation because there were two things I wanted to know about. The first was a bit more about how radio transmissions work in general. As much as I'm a bit of a whiz with some recording equipment, I don't know much about radio waves other than, the basic stuff. So I wanted to double check what could cause such static, and the second thing was to figure out how the Night of My Dreams is connected to this, and read the original, or at least the most local copy of Sir Dewar's original legend. So, first, radio static. What I found is the radio static implies some kind of electromagnetic interference. It can be caused by nature or even just a spotty connection, but given that it's at the same intervals, at the same time implies intent, or at least a side effect of something else. Interesting. Over in the local history section, I found my legend of Sir Dewar. Allow me to regale you with his most known legend. Sir Dewar was stationed at Cribfach hundreds of years ago. He and a group of knights were locked in skirmishes with invaders. There would be a warning noise. Sir Dewar and his men would rush into the forest. Sounds of battle would be heard. Then they would return, one night less. Day after day, Sir Dewar's group dwindled until one day all that was left was Sir Dewar himself. Cribfach held a town meeting. They thanked Dewar for his service, honoured the sacrifices of his men, and told him they agreed to evacuate, that they would much rather Dewar live and escort them than die defending them. Dewar refused. He vowed not one invader would step foot on the soil. He dropped to his knees before the church altar and made his proclamation before God. The townspeople saw the light brighten around him, and the warning sound sounded again. Despite the people trying to call him back, Sir Dewar gripped his sword and marched into battle. The town held each other as they expected the end, but the invaders never came. Sir Dewar returned, covered in the blood of his enemies. The town celebrated, and every encounter Sir Dewar kept his word, like God was on his side. His feats earned him the full title, Sir Dewar the Welsh. I'm sorry, I'm trying with the Welsh. It means Godsworn. Sir Dewar the Godsworn. Now, from a paranormal standpoint, this legend leads me to have so many questions. Was it really God helping him out, or some other power? What was this warning noise? Was it just a scout tower, or something else? Were these invaders really people? It never really specifies that either. But in terms of what's happening to me specifically right now, as much as my imagination is ablaze with other things, the thing that stands out to me the most is the warning sounds. I couldn't pin down what it was, even after multiple versions. Like, is it a tower? Is it a scout that just comes back and yells, "Oh my god, there's enemies!" Who knows? A strange sound in regular intervals, and it came from the forest. I'm investigating a strange sound in regular intervals that is being interrupted by something. What if that something is in the forest? So that's where I headed next. However, it might not have been a good idea to go that day, because by the time I'd done all this reading, evening had drawn in and it was kind of dark. Maybe it was not a good idea to go searching through the forest at night, because as much as I had my phone, I did trip and fall. Not on my face. I caught myself, I swear. I did no scratches. Maybe just one or two. But yeah, I totally didn't trip and fall. But if I did, I would have groped on the floor to find my phone, because obviously it fell flashlight down and became kind of hard to see under the leaves. But when I did grope to find my phone, if this theoretical happened, I found something else. I couldn't quite see what it was at the time. It was like a credit card sort of feel to it, so I pocketed that as well. I don't know, what could be a clue, we don't know. And picked up my phone again, and when I got up, I had the scare of my life. There was someone there, and they snuck up on me and was like, "You! Lady!" It was the Popo. A policeman! The sheriff of the town! Maybe the sheriff? I don't know. I don't know what ranks police have. A sergeant? I don't know. Either way, he was not very happy at me being here wandering around at night. He did not seem to be a nice man. You would hope that he would find a damsel in the forest and be concerned for me, but no, he clearly was not happy I was there more than anything. So I just tried to dismiss myself, going, ooh, I'm lost. Bye, officer, sorry, didn't realise I wasn't supposed to be here, bye. But as I tried to, go round him, he actually grabbed my arm. I know, physical contact, I don't want that. It wasn't, harsh, well, it was kind of harsh, but, yeah. And he said something that really bugged me, actually. Don't think that benefactor of yours can protect you forever. God, that really scared me. As soon as I was let go, I ran straight home. I went back to my little apartment above the Midnight Owl, and I curled up in bed, and I may have cried, because that was very scary. What he means by benefactor is something I need to confess to you, dear listeners. You may wonder how I got the money to move here to Cribfach, and I don't know where I got that money. It appeared in my bank account one day, with a note attached, saying follow your dreams. And, maybe I should have been a bit more cautious. And maybe I should have questioned it more, but, I just thought it was from you guys, that you wanted me to follow my dreams, and someone had made a really nice donation. Who was I to question this? But I think when the police officer said benefactor, probably meant whoever gave me that money. And what are they protecting me from? And does this have anything to do with the night of my dreams and the phantom and any of this? I don't know. Either way, I was freaked out. So I just went to bed, and then I decided to try not to think about it in the morning. I had to think about it a little bit, if only because I needed to see what that credit card thing was that I picked up. So I got it out my pocket the next morning, and it was a key card for a hotel. The Eden Grove Hotel, which I'd stayed at, actually. It's pretty much the only hotel in town. There's a few other little B&Bs and stuff, but this is the only proper hotel. And it was quite nice. I stayed there while I was trying to find a place here. So that's where I headed in the morning, trying not to think about the police and hoping I wasn't followed as I arrived at the Eden Grove Hotel. Luckily, I was put more at ease seeing a familiar face. Cooper was behind the reception desk. Now, she's a wonderful lady. She's so kind to me when I got here. She showed me around. She introduced me to Caleb, basically got me my apartment above the Midnight Owl. It was great. Absolute gem of a person. And she was happy to see me too, but the conversation did turn awkward because I had no idea how to ask her, hey, I found this key card in the middle of the woods. Do you know anything about it? I mean, maybe I could have snuck around, maybe I could have tried every door with this key, but it would look really weird, and it was faster, and I just asked her. I played it innocent. I was like, I was on a nature walk, totally not in the middle of the night, and found this key. So Cooper took it from me and checks it on the PC. I started wondering how I was going to get her to tell me the room, because there had to be some kind of, confidentiality or something, right? But apparently I didn't need to. She just told me anyway. The people in that room hadn't been back for a while, apparently. Housekeepers had been in, but nothing had been touched for days, and their checkout time had expired. All their stuff had been taken to Lost and Found, and a missing persons report had been raised. I asked if that happened often, and Cooper shrugged. She nonchalantly told me that she reckoned they got into a hiking accident. It had been a couple who looked like they were into that, apparently. She was very calm about it all. I don't think I'd be so calm talking about a missing person, but hey-ho. Don't ask, don't get. I shot my shot. I asked if I could check out their stuff, and she excitedly told me yes. I don't think I trust this hotel anymore, but that was very convenient for me. Did the police not take it away as evidence? Did it not get taken to the next of kin or something? Ugh. I kept my mouth shut at the time, because the investigation must go on, and if I'm lucky enough that the hotel has this much lax security, then I'm not gonna question it. So, I followed Cooper through the hotel office and to the luggage, where I ignored people talking about all the shiny things that are likely to go missing into staff pockets, and had a look myself. Everything you would expect, clothes, toiletries. I was about to give up when I ran my hand over the lining and felt something strange. Luckily, Cooper was busy chatting with the staff. No one was looking as I searched for a way to get behind the lining. And then I found it. Inside, I found a memory stick. Interesting. Physical storage media. In this day and age, hidden in a place where people wouldn't notice on a cursory glance. Who were this couple? And what information got them in trouble? I'm thinking that my podcast might be turning into true crime at this point. But that didn't stop me. I pocketed the memory stick while no one was looking and raced home after thanking Cooper for her help, of course. I plugged that baby straight into my laptop before you could say, think about the viruses. And dear listeners, you will not believe the treasure trove I found. Now, you may have heard about it. The Cribfach Phantom. Of course you've heard of it. Of course you have. I mentioned it at the start. It's back. Some strange red lights in the forest. Those who have survived encounters have spoken of a sense of dread, red lights, and a strange sound that some have even described as something talking in a strange language. The memory stick had every sighting of the phantom I had ever found, and more. It was categorized, time, date. Oh, I would have loved to meet this couple. Hell, they probably had their own podcast. So if anyone knows of any paranormal investigatory couples that have mysteriously stopped posting, please let me know. Now, finally, we have gathered so many questions throughout our time, but at least we can now answer one. When I put together the times of the phantom sightings, guess what they lined up with? The radio static. The phantom is the cause of the radio static. There are so many mysteries still to be unpacked. Who were the couple that left this information? What is the nature of the phantom? Who is my mysterious benefactor, and why did they encourage me to move here? And why did the night of my dreams send me on this quest to begin with? We have one answer and too many questions. But we'll have to wait until next time, dear listeners. This has been Rose Smith on the first episode of Cribfach Cryptids. I'll see you next time.